Smile for me, even if you sad. Be good to me, even if you bad. Stay with me, even if you've got some place to be. Pray with me, even if you know believe. Smile for me, baby me please. Smile. I want to be the one where you die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you'd never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Lie to me if the truth will break my heart too. Sing for me even though your voice they crackle. Dance with me even if you're dancing off the beat. Take a chance on me, don't you believe I'm worth the risk? Smile for me, baby me please. Smile. I want to be you are where you die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you'd never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Will you fight for me? Even if now Kokano, take a ride with me. Or it was anybody to move Ferrato. Oh baby, promise me the world, because nothing is too much. You know that I want to be the one way you die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Da, 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 da. Do the things you think, say you never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby.
Hey, want to know how?
Smile for me, even if you sad. Be good to me, even if you bad. Stay with me, even if you've got some place to be. Pray with me, even if you know believe. Smile for me, baby me please. Smile. I want to be the one where you die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you'd never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Lie to me if the truth will break my heart too. Sing for me even though your voice they crackle. Dance with me even if you're dancing off the beat. Take a chance on me, don't you believe I'm worth the risk? Smile for me, baby me please. Smile, I want to be you are where you fit die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you'd never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Will you fight for me? Even if now Kokano, take a ride with me. Go equals anybody to move Ferrato. Oh baby, promise me the world because nothing is too much. You know that I want to be the one way to die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Da, 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 da. Do the things you think, say you never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby.
Hey, want to know how?
Smile for me, even if you shadow. Be good to me, even if you battle. Stay with me, even if you've got some place to be. Pray with me, even if you know believe. Smile for me, baby me please. Smile, I want to be the one where you fit that for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you'd never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Lie to me if the truth will break my heart too. Sing for me even though your voice they crackle. Dance with me even if you're dancing off the beat. Take a chance on me, don't you believe I'm worth the risk? Smile for me, baby me please. Smile, I want to be you are where you fit die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you'd never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Will you fight for me? Even if now Kokano, take a ride with me. Will you cause anybody to move Ferrato? Oh baby, promise me the world, because nothing is too much. You know that I want to be the one way to die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Do the things you think, say you never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby.
Hey, want to know how?
Smile for me, even if you sad. Be good to me, even if you bad. Stay with me, even if you've got some place to be. Pray with me, even if you know believe. Smile for me, baby me please. Smile. I want to be the one way you die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you'd never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Lie to me if the truth will break my heart too. Sing for me even though your voice they crackle. Dance with me even if you're dancing off the beat. Take a chance on me, don't you believe I'm worth the risk? Smile for me, baby me please. Smile. I want to be you are where you die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you'd never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Will you fight for me? Even if now Kokano, take a ride with me. Will you cause anybody to move Ferrato? Oh baby, promise me the world, because nothing is too much. You know that I want to be the one way to die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Da, 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 da. Do the things you think, say you no go do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby.
Hey, want to know how?
Smile for me, even if you sad. Be good to me, even if you bad. Stay with me, even if you've got some place to be. Pray with me, even if you no believe. Smile for me, baby me please. Smile. I want to be the one where you die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you'd never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Lie to me if the truth will break my heart too. Sing for me even though your voice they crackle. Dance with me even if you're dancing off the beat. Take a chance on me, don't you believe I'm worth the risk? Smile for me, baby me please. Smile. I want to be you are where you die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you'd never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Will you fight for me? Even if now Kokano, take a ride with me. Go equals anybody to move Ferrato. Oh baby, promise me the world because nothing is too much. You know that I want to be the one way to die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Da, 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 da. Do the things you think, say you no go do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby.
Hey, want to know how?
Smile for me, even if you sad. Oh. Be good to me, even if you bad. Oh. Stay with me, even if you've got some place to be. Pray with me, even if you know believe. Smile for me, baby me please. Smile. I want to be the one where you die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you'd never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Lie to me if the truth will break my heart too. Sing for me even though your voice they crackle. Dance with me even if you're dancing off the beat. Take a chance on me, don't you believe I'm worth the risk? Smile for me, baby me please. Smile. I want to be the one where you die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you'd never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Will you fight for me? Even if now Kokano, take a ride with me. Go equals anybody to move Ferrato. Oh baby, promise me the world because nothing is too much. You know that I want to be the one way to die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. Da, 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 da. Do the things you think, say you never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby.
Hey, want to know how?
Smile for me, even if you sad. Be good to me, even if you bad. Stay with me, even if you've got some place to be. Pray with me, even if you know believe. Smile for me, baby me please. Smile. I want to be the one where you die for. I want to be the one that makes you do the things you thought you'd never do. Let me be the one for you. I want to be your weakness, baby. lie to me, if the truth will break my heart too. Sing for me, even though your voice they crackle. Dance with me, even if you're dancing off the beat. Take a chance on me, don't you believe?
And the spirit of life calling Mamela, and a voice with the fear of a child answered, I am Mamela.
Ay, bajos.
There's no mountain too great. Hear these words and have faith. Oh, have faith. He lives in you. He lives in me. He watches over everything we see. Into the waters, into the truth, in your reflection, He lives in you. Free. And a voice in the wind whispers, I am Mamela. Wait, there's no mountain too great. Hear these words and have faith. He lives in you. He lives in me. He watches over everything we see. Into the water, into the truth, in your reflection, He lives in you. He lives in you. He lives in you. He lives in me. He watches over everything you see. Into the water, into the truth, in your reflection. He lives in you. He lives in oh yeah. He lives in me. He watches over everything we see. Into the water, into the truth, in your reflection. He lives.
Well, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Cyrus Gray, and
Welcome to today's edition of Election Central. As we informed you in the intro last evening, today we're going to be having a solve discussion with a Liberian living in the United States who is part of what we term the lost generation, lost to Liberia, because he's one of the several thousand Liberian professionals who, as a result of the civil war and the ensuing conflicts of the war, had to leave Liberia and settle in a foreign country. So we're going to be talking to one such person today. Our guest is Captain Albert Moore. We're going to discuss his work and experience in Liberia, how he left, what he does in the diaspora, and what is his outlook for Liberia, uh, especially as we go to elections in October. So that will begin on the hour. Today I'm going to be the single host. My co-host Alfonso is tied down today, so he's not going to be with us today. But as part of the pre-show, we'd like to go back to Liberia and look at an important story that has been trending concerning our former Chief Justice, former Justice Minister, former Chairman of the Constitutional Review Committee, in person of Councillor Gloria Scott. So we'll start the show off listening to her while she served as Chairman of the Constitutional Review Committee.
Chairperson of the Constitution Review Committee. We are in the civic education consultation stage, and we're at the point where before now, the people didn't know what was in the Constitution. So we're doing awareness on the content of the Constitution. And so we are engaging the entire population. But like you know, Liberia being a country in West Africa, culture has conditioned women where you sing but you're not heard. So the challenge has been to get women to be vocal, to express their views. And to do that, realizing it's a challenge, in the process we are setting up a women's desk to encourage, to get the woman's voice in the process. So that's where we are now, establishing a women's desk and integrating gender issues in the civic awareness strategy, and coming up with civic education material that also have a woman's face to get women more comfortable to be able to express themselves. So that's where we are. We're working with women's groups, we're working with UN Women on Male Gender Advisor, UNDP, trying to support the whole strategy to get women encouraged to be part of the process, to speak up, to say issues that affect their lives directly. And we encouraging them to speak up, not to the point to say, oh no, this is not important, this is not a constitutional issue. But the first thing is to encourage them to speak. So we have determined, when I say we, I mean a committee, that anything they say, we listen. Because as soon as you begin to tell them, oh no, this is not a constitutional matter, then they will just shut up and just be observers to the process. So the major challenge is to get them to speak up.
When I encounter this person, I engage their eyes and I put the pepper spray in their eyes, because it was a question of life and death.
Do you think
how vicious was that?
To put the spray in the pepper spray. In
your physical interaction with that person.
Yeah, my counsel then say I shouldn't speak anymore.
Well, that was the most recent view was the former Chief Justice, Madam Gloria Scott. Now, the earlier video was the former Chief Justice then, when she served as chairperson of the Constitutional Review Committee, making the case for women involvement and opportunity to speak out on women issues. Well, as you may know, last week, the former Chief Justice and Minister of Justice was arrested, and she was charged with the murder of her daughter along with 3 others, and remanded at the Central Prison at South Beach. So, what's all this about? I would like the rightful authorities to speak for themselves, and then we conclude with how they started and where we are right now. It's an unfortunate situation, really, to have somebody of such prominence to be now incarcerated and charged with the murder of her own daughter.
He talked to the police, both the mayor and Valley, before a team of investigators of the Liberian National Police. And they gave their side of the story. And categorically, the mayor, we represent the legal interests of the mayor, had denied ever being part of anything. He does not know anything that is obtaining. And in fact, it is surprised and it is characterized as a propaganda. What we are interested in is that we believe in the professionalism of the Liberian National Police. And we believe that the police has individuals that are well and capable to investigate this matter. Everyone that is the subject of this investigation or that the police had expressed interest to talk to must cooperate with the police. Though he's a mayor, he believes that he is not above the law. He had appeared before the police to give his side of his account. And Major Koji had identified that he is nowhere near any allegation of committing a crime or masterminding a crime or conspiring to commit armed robbery against anybody or engaging in any act that is considered to be an assassination against the former Chief Justice. We categorically debunk, not debunk, but we categorically express our sympathy to the victim of the act that unfolded at the level of at the location of the former Chief Justice, and we condemn it in the strongest term. And those who believe that they have evidence regarding what unfolded that night must come to the police and express and show those evidence against the police to assist the police, because this is an issue of a national security concern.
Councillor Johnson, did you receive any maybe evidence from the police linking your client to such an issue?
No, the police did not give us or show us any evidence or anything. But being the fact that the mayor is the mayor of the city of Monrovia, and taking into consideration the propaganda machinery that is perpetrating the way that this incident is and trying to divert it at the level of the police, at the level of the mayor, it is important that he comes to the police when invited, as was invited, to clarify his side of the story.
So it means the police acted on propaganda, not on fact-based where you have proof as to call the person in, but based on what someone said and they call in the mayor.
Normally in criminal investigation, I think maybe that is background that it came from. In criminal investigation, when there is a crime that is that have been committed, it means it is a crime against the state. Now, even the victim needs to be the victim needs to make herself or himself available to the police to assist in the investigation. So the police, I think, in my view, my advice to the police is to talk to Council of Radio to assess them with the evidence that he says he has, so that the investigation can move forward. Because the mayor had decided to leave and waive all of his right to come with a lawyer and to make himself available to respond to this. Now, what I'm going to be clear with you is that the fact and the level we are now in this investigation, we will not let for the mayor to respond to them. That's why we have decided to respond to whatever.
So we just want to ask 1 or 2 questions.
Has there been any restrictions on your clients?
So now speak to the
First of all, when a person is accused of a crime, the mayor is not accused of a crime by the Liberian National Police. Somebody had alleged that the mayor committed an offense. Prima facie case that they have, and that that person is a prime suspect. In my view, the police does not even have a suspect yet, because there must be a probable cause.
we have. Why is it that they have to accuse Mayor Koji?
I think the person who is making the allegation is the best person to give that answer. But let us put something in perspective here. The former Chief Justice had alleged that it is an assassination attempt on her life. The investigators are yet to determine the motive of the attack. First, you have to determine the motive. You have to determine the means. You have to determine the opportunity for the person to commit the offense. So one of the best things that I think the former Chief Justice needs to do also is to also help the police to get basic information about how the robbery occurred. When election is see a stakeholder to the level where it will jeopardize the interest of the present regime. These are theories that need answer. So whenever the Chief Justice had made such a statement that this is an assassination attempt, it borders on national security. There is a need for her to deal with the police, talk with the police, give the information that she knows properly to the police so that the police can know where to start from. Because all of us are concerned. An attack on the former Chief Justice must be denounced, it must be debunked, it must be criticized, and also it is a barbaric. But if we start to continue to make statements on the internet and then we stay away and we don't come forward to assert the national authority that is called with the authority to investigate these matters, then obviously we have a problem.
Now, Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia, what have you to say currently? You've left the offices of the headquarters of police. Now you are here before journalists. What have you to say concerning such allegations?
Thank you very much. The information that is circulating around in my knowledge. Because I know nothing about what's going on. For the first, until today, the 21st, I went to City House, the House of Color. I know I live on that place to go anywhere. There were there, and I'll be there until I get the information through the media people. It's all our before or killing or someone. The woman you're talking about, I know what the woman.
Have you had an interaction with her?
No, I know the woman house before. I know I lived there.
What specifically did the police ask you about when you went in there?
Oh, the police only tried to get information from me, what I did, and what going on to Broadway. And I show the place where I live there. And no one done that woman house before. No, I go there and I know how the woman looks.
Send a text message to somebody threatening the person?
No, I said no text.
What are you about to play? You threaten him?
No, I don't know.
Is that your account or is it a false account?
But a false account.
So can you clarify to Liberians? You made a statement that you teach a school and you teach students, right?
Exactly.
And you also said that you spend bulk of your time at the Monrovia City Corporation.
Exactly.
So how do you reconcile that statement?
Oh, you know, at the time I was teaching in Banjo to my brother was in Banjo. I lived in 2010 to this time. From my land to Broadville, I live West African, house. I live on the go to my house. I live 7th Street of Christopher. I can go teach my brother and help the children for teaching that one.
Mr. Telly, what is this costing you as an imam? Why is it costing you?
I've been teaching the Arabic children.
Are you moved by this allegation, or you think it's just something of propaganda that they want to say against you because you are working with the mayor who happens to be one of the major players in the government?
Yeah, but I believe it's a propaganda because
So there we are. On the 22nd of February, it is alleged that somebody entered the home of the Chief Justice, the former Chief Justice Gloria Scott in Virginia. And in the end, they killed her daughter, stabbed her with some sharp object several times. The former Chief Justice reported that though she was in the house along with three others who were also there. She had also reported that on the 8th and the 9th of the same February, there were attempts to enter her house by robbers, and she reported that to the police. So they've been back and forth since February, since this murder. Demonstration from people seeking justice. And finally, this week, the police came out with something unexpected to everybody. Call the former Chief Justice, to the police office along with three others, and filed charges against them, charging them with the murder of the young lady, a 30-year-old young lady called Chloe Musu, who was supposed to be the daughter of her name was Shallow Musu. The police charged the former Chief Justice, former Minister of Justice, with murder, criminal conspiracy, and making false statement to law enforcement officers for the death of her niece. I would like the police to speak for itself on what was the basis of these charges. I mean, there was an elaborate press conference held at the Ministry of Information where the police disclosed why they decided to charge the former
on a critical investigation into the incident that occurred at the home of former Chief Justice Councilor Gloria Musu Scott in Lower Virginia, Montserrat County, on February 22nd, 2023. During our investigation, all along we have called parties to this investigation as, first of all, the Musu's family as victim or family of the victim. They have been treated as such from the beginning. Others were considered persons of interest. And so the investigation has taken very long because this is a very critical issue that one of our own, a young lady called Charlotte Musu, was gruesomely murdered. And so it takes the police all it can to establish or to identify perpetrators of such heinous crime. And that is why we've been so meticulous to come up with facts and not to speculate or to hold the wrong person for the wrong reason. We believe that it's good to free 10 criminals on the basis of the law of forgiveness than to hold one innocent person. This is something that we are always careful not to do. And so today, we come to let the Liberian people know that this investigation that the Liberian National Police is back on is coming to a close. We, at this point, have identified suspects, prime suspects, into the murder of Charlotte Musu in connection to that incident which occurred on February 22nd at the home of former Chief Justice Councilor Gloria Musu Scott. And to let you know, the prime suspect in this case Councilors Gloria Musu Scott, Gertrude Newton, Alice E. Johnson, and Rebecca Winston. Those are all occupants of the house during the time of the incident. We want to ask why is finally being held as prime suspect. The theory is it has been established and proven beyond all reasonable doubts, first of all, that there was no intruder, as is being speculated or being alleged. No intruder at all. And because we are saying no intruder at all, we want to go to the extent that you, all Liberian people, a member of the folk estate, will know the home that we are talking about, the protection that this home has, how fortified the home is, to even have the slightest thought that this home will be infiltrated by unknown person and commit crime and escape again. This is what we want you to know, that the police have got no reason to accuse anybody falsely. We have got nothing to hide. We have done this work in partners with other stakeholders, credible stakeholders, and citizens alike. We got witnesses, credible witnesses, who at the appropriate time will appear in court to testify. And so I've come with me the deputy, my immediate deputy. He's Commissioner Emmanuel Do Jirikan. He's the deputy for crime investigation, criminal intelligence, and interpol affairs of the Liberia National Police. He's been supervising this investigation while we provide guidance. We have with us Assistant Commissioner Blade, or Deputy Commissioner Blade, sorry. Deputy Commissioner Blade is the Deputy Commissioner for Crime Services. He's the lead investigator, and closely assisted by Assistant Commissioner Moro A. Dennis, the Chief Criminal Investigator, Republic of Liberia.
Well, there you have it. Long story short, the former Chief Justice and former Justice Minister Gloria Scott is now in prison, and she has been charged with the murder of her daughter. We are making a presumption, so we'll look at the case as it unfolds. I'm assuming that expeditiously it's going to be taken to court, so we can get the police to make her case as to the guilt or innocence of the former Chief Justice. How be it, this is a very sad event, whether she actually did kill her daughter or she is being accused of falsely. It's a sad event for our country, but there's an issue of justice, so we'll sit back and we'll continue to watch it and see how it unfolds. Whatever the case, we hold on to our creed that let justice be done. In a minute, two real things are going to go. We're going to be discussing Okay, ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome to the main section of our show, Election Central. Today we're going to be talking about a generation of Liberians, professional Liberians, college-educated Liberians who, by the result of the war, were displaced and had to leave Liberia in the drones in thousands and settle in foreign countries. Many going through difficult times, many having to even change their professions. And Liberia suffering the loss of such a great brain drain. We want to have a discussion about these issues today, but we selected one of our guests who falls right into that category. And we're going to be bringing him on in the second, and we'll have such a discussion. We will also give opportunity to whomever want to participate in this discussion to join us. I will give you our WhatsApp number, and we have our chat. Give us a view. I know one way or the other, almost all Liberians are affected by these incidents that's brought people to other parts of the world today. So I'd like to welcome Captain Abamo. Captain Mo, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can still
Minister
call you.
Gray.
I can still call you.
Minister Gray. I still call you Minister Gray. I can hear you loud and clear.
Welcome to Election Central, man. Thanks for consenting to join us today in this discussion.
You're welcome.
How's your Sunday going? I know it's been a little bit up and down with your work.
Yeah, I do VIP transportation and security. So when it comes to it, I always say you got to know what you do. But I'm happy I could make the show.
I appreciate
I'm somewhere way up in the mountain, Norfolk, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and I'm happy you at least you got reception. You can get to us. I know you have to use your phone instead of your computer, but you're coming in clear. So let's start this way first. Tell us about yourself, or Captain Mo. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Minister Gray, I got to know you a couple of years back as Assistant Minister of Transport when I was as a lieutenant in the Liberian National Police. I graduated from the Liberian National Police in 1993, the 25th class. And because of the war, President Sawyer, the late President Sawyer then encouraged us to come join the police because of my father. He wanted us to bring more attraction to young men that that had potential. People before had the Liberian National Police just a grown-up place. Anybody who couldn't make life could join the police. And President Sawyer talked to me and a few others to bring attraction to the police and encourage other young men to come and help the criminal justice system. That's how we went to the police. I went 6 months to the police academy, graduated with a 25th class. And it was a good experience. I got to meet many of you or other people that I did some good police work for. I was in Minnesota about a month ago, and Kevin Johnson, remember work I did for his father when they were victim of armed robbery, and we happened to solve like kids. That wasn't deployed. But in 1997, during the elections, the United States government came in and tried to reform the police. They came in to do election security, which they told everybody if you wanted to become a new police officer, you had to come and sit a public test. We did. Other senior officers who believe in the transformation at the time went down. We all took the senior test, and I became number one. I became the chief election security officer. 1997, where Charles Taylor was elected president of the Republic of Liberia. After Taylor was elected, it was still left, right. Warring faction. We had to leave. I had to leave Liberia in 1999, and came to the States.
Okay, but we'll get to that. We'll get to your coming to the States just in a minute. But in your sojourn with the police, Can you give me the name of some of the people who served with you? Some of the guys who were young like you who were recruited to the police, or
Oh,
do
listen,
as, some
yeah.
of them stay, as some of them stay with?
No, I graduated with a 25th class. A lot of them young, a few of them stayed in the police. I graduated with Barclay Water. Barclay Water, who became base king, the chief of intelligence base officer. Now he's in Australia. I graduated with quite a few. I graduated with Patrick Massey. Patrick Massey became chief investigator of the police. I graduated with one. I was just thinking about him. Let me say. I've got a few great guys that we work with.
There was another young police commander in the Pinsville area around them by the name of Castle Williams. He graduated from the academy too. Do you remember?
He graduated with a 26th class. William graduated with a 26th class. Graduated right after us. Yes, after my class. So you see, because of my class brought a lot of attraction to other young men that brought into the police, like Kenneth Harris. Kenneth Harris became chief of police at the executive mansion. I would tell you, a lot of young men you see in the police today, that came to the police was because of the first class after the war, the 25th class of the Liberia National Police. We brought attraction, and I would tell you, I was one of the face to the police at the time for young men. The second class of our class, you could see a lot of guys from the University of Liberia, Zion Community College, other colleges that came to sit the police public test because they felt we could transform the criminal justice system of Liberia through the Liberia National Police. The first phase of the criminal justice system.
Okay, Mo, we'll come in a minute, and I will get into policing a little bit, and then we later on we'll come back. We'll move to your leaving Liberia, and what is it you've been doing. So let's take the. So we're discussing the lost generation of Liberia, Liberians in the droves, educated professional Liberians who have had to leave Liberia as a result of the civil war. We have our special guest today, Albert Moore. Albert, welcome again, and really happy to have you. Look, I wanted us to delve a little bit into policing now, but I think I will leave that for later. So I get a perspective on some of the things that are happening in Liberia today relative to policing. But let's talk about, how did you leave Liberia? You slow away on a ship or something?
No, I was not. I was fortunate. As I told you, I became the chief election security officer in 1997. Then after that class, I was we were to come to the States to do some in-service program which were recommended by the U.S. Embassy through the training we did. But then, unfortunate for us, our visa was denied after they removed Charles DeShee, our chief of police, and brought back Joe Tate. The agreement with the U.S. Embassy and the Liberian National Police at the time was that they would keep Charles DeShee to the police for the police to have the assistance from the Department of Justice of the United States. But then it didn't work. Charles still felt that he needed somebody of his trust, and he had Joe Tate. That broke the contract. Our visa was denied to come to the States to study. But again, because of the work I did through the elections, and then guys that came from trainers and professors that came from America, the chief of mission, Honorable John Bowman, had my son. I had my first son, Albert III, was born in 97. And John Bowman, with the influence of Chief of Mission John Bowman, he granted me a 1-year visa to come to America after I lost my visa to come to school, in-service training, election security training. And my son was here. I came to Liberia, came to America November 28, 1999, with our team, Political Asylum. And I'm here today in the United States.
What was happening in Liberia then? I mean, the conflict has started again.
Oh yeah, the conflict started again. After Taylor became president, it was a lot. It was a lot. After Taylor became president, it was still warring faction, and people were not satisfied. That led President Taylor to leave the country. I think 2001 or 2002. But as things were shaking, I knew we were not going to be stable because there was still a lot of warring faction. There was still a lot of guns around. I felt I had some connection with the U.S. Embassy at the time that I could come up to the States and improve myself. And as God will have it, it did work out.
Okay, tell me now. So, where did you settle in the States, and how did it go in the initial years?
Oh, and I came into New York first, Queens, New York, where I spent my first 5 years, and again, through the training I had, I managed to work at the Fort Hamilton military base with a private security agency that was doing security before the 9/11, and through my connection with the Justice Department, they gave me a job. I served as security supervisor at the military base on the 9/11.
So you were down in New York when 9/11 took place?
Yes, I was in New York. I live in Queens and work at the Fort Hamilton base in Brooklyn, New York. And unfortunately, again, after 9/11, I was not a citizen yet. And after 9/11, they said, no, there was no, if you were not a citizen, you couldn't work on our federal facilities. And this is how I had to leave New York and relocate into Pennsylvania.
Stay moving.
Yeah. I came to Pennsylvania where I have lived in Pennsylvania for the last 17 years, and it's been good. It's been good.
Okay, good. I mean, I'm concerned about, everybody have their story. How was integrating in America, considering that you were not schooled in America? You came to America well over 30 years old. How was integrating into society? How did it go?
Look, Minister Gray, it's hard to say, but for us that came from Africa, and I mean immigrants, I mean it was not an easy task. I mean, with the accent barrier, with the getting connected to move my way around. I would tell you, my first year in America, somewhere that could drive 20 minutes, it took me 2.5 hours to get to work at the Fort Hamilton Bank for Queens. I had to take 2 trains and a bus every morning to get to the Fort Hamilton base until I got the driver license. I could drive, but I had no car. But when I got my driver license and bought my first car, it took me, because I had to be at the base every morning at 6. So it was no traffic on the Bell Power. It took me at least 22 minutes to get to work, where it took me for almost a year, 2 hours. So it was I mean, I always call it training days. It was some days that when you look back and see where you came from and saw the tough time that you have been through, you know you can make a better tomorrow because you're sitting pretty and better right now.
Okay, good. So let's go to Philadelphia. I know you run your own company over there, something. You're into business?
Oh, yeah. For the last 16 years, Minister Gray, when I had my last daughter, I felt I needed more time with my family. When I came to America, I started doing transportation. I wanted to be a pilot, and then I couldn't fly again. I attempted going to aviation school here in America. Again, if you was not a citizen after 9/11, you couldn't. You had to be a citizen at the time after 9/11 to go back to aviation school. So again, I look it up. I had a good skills. I was a very good driver in the police at the time. In the police, between 93 to 97, I was one of the only licensed drivers for the criminal investigation division. So with that skills God gave me, I started doing transportation, working with a limousine and a tour bus company. I started traveling all around the world. I mean, all around America and Canada with a company I worked for, Lion Tradewell, where I had a commercial driver license. And then training days, as I said, in 2007, I decided to establish myself and start working for myself. And since 2007, I tell you, it was a tough road for the first 3 or 4 years working for yourself, but I've been doing it now for the last 16 years, working for myself. And I tell you, almost every Liberian in the Pennsylvania area of Liberia, I do it 7 days a week due to the shuttles to JFK, Newark, Liberty, from the Philadelphia and its surrounding. I do party bus for people. I do limousines. Like yesterday, I did a limousine of a family friend. Me and her went to high school together. Her family, I did the limousine. But I have a big community base now of my African Americans and Liberian, most especially within the Pennsylvania, New Jersey area, that support me, and I try to do the best business with them as possible.
So you have a fleet of vehicles?
Yes. Yes, I got vans, transport vans, so 350 transits that go to the airport 7 days a week. I have party buses. Yes, there you go. I have that's Fabrice. Sadie, I did his wedding 2 years ago.
That's a stretch limousine.
That's a stretch. That's a range. That's a stretch. That's a 16 passenger limousine you're showing up there. Yep. That's a Range Rover. Yeah, right. That's one of my antique. You can see a beautiful antique. We just brought it out. Those cars that's been sitting there. We tried to refurbish that. I used that for Honorable Zoga Wizen's daughter wedding about 4 weeks ago.
Oh, great.
So yes, you can see that's another stretch. Discussion. Yeah. Those are pictures from my gallery. Weddings I have done along the way. You won't believe it. For the last 16 years, I have done over 120 weddings within the Philadelphia area.
And this business pays very well?
Oh, Minister Gray, as I say, if I not pays, last year was very fruitful. I'll be honest with you, very fruitful. Is with the insurance basis, the ones I can have my insurance covered, they've been doing me good. They're bringing me a very good income. They're giving me zero popularity and zero base connection with my people. I'm highly satisfied. I'm striving to increase my fleet, and I hope to add 3 more cars before the end of August. But it paying good. It paying so far. Paying good.
So generally, I'm really impressed. I didn't know to the details what you were doing out in Philadelphia there. I know about a year or so, I ran into you in Liberia, and then you said you went to Sierra Leone and all that. But we'll come to that, find out what you're doing on that side and what the prospects are. But what is it like living in Philly for the Liberian people? What are the things that provide Liberian people generally income over there?
Philadelphia, one thing I would say for the Philadelphia section, from my experience in the Philadelphia section, most especially for beginnings Liberian have transformed to the migrated to the United States. I would tell you it's a good beginner base because it's a state that have a lot of Liberian. They can help you, connect you with jobs, give you. It was not like me when I started in New York. I had to take the train. You can have somebody to help you with a ride to work back and forth. You can stop to 1 or 2 places in Philadelphia if you're not married and you don't have a home. You can go to 1 or 2 what we call the Kobo shop in Liberia. They got a lot around Philadelphia, and then for most of, especially people who have not established a family. People who stay looking up to bring their family. It's somewhere where they cannot feel lonely. From my experience, Philadelphia and its surrounding, in Northeast, Central Philadelphia, Southwest Philadelphia, you can have a lot of places, most especially this summertime, where you can sit out there and feel at home again. You know what I mean? Forget about the troubled mind of your being separated from your family, and then have some new as in Liberia. So I live in the suburb section of Philadelphia. I've been in Bensalem, Pennsylvania, for about 17 years. I mean, I know the southwest of Philadelphia is what we call the tough side of Philadelphia. But I live in the
Top side. You mean what?
I mean, with violence and crimes, you understand? I mean, and low income living, where I mean, it's tough. That section of Philadelphia, we got a lot of Liberians, young Liberians, sorrows. I tell you, go out there, you will feel sorry for them. I see Liberian living on drugs, Liberian living in the ghettos, Liberian living in people living room, in people marquees, sleeping overnight. I mean, it's tough. I mean, Liberians, you see, young Liberians that could have make it here in America. I mean, you see some of them wayward, as we call, living in the southwest Philadelphia. It's a heart for the great country to live in, for this great country to see our young Liberians, who I believe was not just, they never had the opportunity to get that rehabilitation after war. And they just came and just went right into the same place. I mean, thinking it was a dream. They're living in the street. I mean, I tell you, it's terrible. I mean, I tell you, we got a lot of Liberians in the Philadelphia section.
Yes, I'm happy to hear that. I know you have similar stuff in other states. I didn't know that.
I heard, yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, I tell you, it's terrible. It's terrible. I visit one of my senior sister. She has a place over there, and she said, Albert, the people sleep here all night. She sell food, you know. She cook. Most of the Liberians, they got a lot of places where they cook in the basement, and people go sit and eat, you know, and having the team. And some of them make those places that night spot. They come in there 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and they hang around until morning. I'm telling you.
Probably they're homeless. They don't have a place to stay.
Oh, a lot of them. I mean, I'll tell you, I stopped to the ATM at the police station, and then on a Woodland Avenue, the most popular street in Southwest Philadelphia. And I'm telling you, I saw 2 Liberian young ladies sleeping in the ATM section on the floor of the place. I mean, it was heartbroken. It was heartbroken. Yes.
Well, that's sad, man. Do they have the Liberian organization in the Philly area?
Oh yes. I mean, we the Liberian organization. I mean, I would tell you for years they have been in problem, but they just re-elected last year. They just re-elected a leadership that I see.
Always in problem.
Yeah. I mean, Trenton and Philadelphia, but they got a new leadership now that I see working to see how best they can remove bring back joy to the Liberian community for the last 10 or 15 years that they were lost. They got Sionti Kofa, who is the president now for the Philadelphia section, and Vice President Sandra Johnson, a family member of mine that we went to high school together. And I see them working for the last 6 months, working in an interest to see how best these things can be set up. I know I was in one of the meetings that talked about the same thing, the wayward Liberians that's getting in problem. They wanted me to join the board to see how best I could intervene when it comes to Liberians and police in the Philadelphia area. And we're working on that with our connection with the police department in Philadelphia and Trenton, Washington, D.C., Maryland. They want us to see how best we can organize the Liberian police community section in helping our Liberians that are getting into problems within the community.
With the police, okay.
Yeah.
It just occurred to me there was this Liberian evangelist and singer called Soiree who died. Was it in Philadelphia?
Oh yeah.
I mean, were you aware of what happened?
I didn't follow the story keenly, you know. And I'll tell you, Cyrus. I mean, it's just been fortunate for me. I do transportation, and I work with a friend and brother, Exeter. I did some work with Exeter to in our base up here. Exeter is our undertaker within Philadelphia, and I would tell you in the United States, one of the best undertaker in the United States. Exeter, he's a brother to Moses. He's
He's a
a
Liberian?
Liberian guy. Very good, very good. Exodus help a lot of Liberians. I would tell you, I knew Exodus from Liberia, and we got closely connected when this 7 Liberian guys killed in a fire, in a house fire in the southwest of Philadelphia. In one of these same places where I'm telling you about, people go eat and drink, and somebody went. People were in there eating and drinking, and the owner sent somebody to get kerosene, and they brought gas for the kerosene lamp, and that place in flame and killed 7 Liberians. And I tell you, Exodus took care of those people. I mean, he embalmed them for free, and all we had to do about caskets and then bury them. But I'll tell you, with that, we have a lot of connection with Liberians, most especially when it comes to transportation and funerals. So you see me most of the time to funerals is good with Exodus connection. I tell you, this guy has done amazing work with the Liberian community to work with them, and to see how best our community can come together during a time of grief and sorrows.
Okay. Albert, I would let you catch your breath for a second, and then when we come back, we'll talk about Liberia a little bit. We'll talk about policing, some of the crime and security issues that have been happening, and then also get your perspective about Liberia as we go into this election year. Okay.
I'm happy to do it.
Let's take a short break.
Dama, share on your share with my hand. Bank care with me as soon as you tell. Clip I owe your phone. I didn't have a reason to leave you, show me the way, and I'm grateful for everything that you did. You never ever play me low. See, I'm not worthy of your grace. I'm not worthy of your blessings. Stay, you not close me, oh. Say you not give up on me. I call you my daughter, my bro, my brabio. See your man, let's all let go more. Nangla, you hella bo. Let call you Elohim, yes, what tato. Like you, le one can win all the battle. You give me more reason to pray. God don't give up on me. 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 Don't give up on me. You told me not to worry. We should give you thanks and praise. Akapele kuwa speo. Me I understand the trail. Me I give it all to you. Give it all to you. And I got friend to say. Glipper, you lead the way. You told me call on you, call on you, call on you. I just need to kneel and pray. Like you get it final say, oh. God don't give up on me. Don't give up on me. God don't give up on me. Don't give up on me. God don't give up on me. Don't give up on me. God don't give up on me. don't give up on me. Please don't give up on me. Don't give up on me.
Yeah, that's a cut from CRC, God Don't Give Up On Me, a Liberian gospel artist. We're having a discussion with Abbott Moore, former Liberian police officer, who, as a result of the conflicts in Liberia, moved to the United States, settled in New York City for the first 5 years, and then is now settled in Philadelphia, where he lives with his family and runs his business. We're going to be talking to him about his perspective for Liberia, some of the issues going on in Liberia relative to security, and then about the election year and where he sees Liberia going 2024 and onward. So, Albert, welcome back.
Thank you, Minister Gray.
Before we begin to talk about Liberia, probably it would be a good idea to tell us if somebody wanted to use your services in the Philadelphia area, how do they get to you?
Oh, I sent you my card. I tell you, I'm very popular in the Philadelphia area, most especially in Liberian community, we're in the Philadelphia area. But in the Liberian community between Trenton, New York, Philadelphia, I'm very popular. So I go up to
you release your car for events.
They call me. I do group trips. I right now I'm sold out Saturday. Right now I cannot even take a wedding for any Saturday. I'm sold out for from now on to the whole year. I'm sold out because all my Saturdays are booked.
Cool. Yeah. Good for business, right?
Yeah.
So people book beforehand for the wedding to use.
Oh yeah. I tell my people, I tell my Liberian people, listen, so wedding transportation is like a plane ticket. If you want to come to Texas today, it's gonna be expensive. You understand? If you're calling me today for a limousine, I could charge. So I advise my people, and which most of them are following, book your wedding. As you're planning your wedding, people plan a wedding 2 to 3 years, includes the transportation. Because Sarah's, I'll tell you, that you may not find any limousine company open in right now for anything during the summer. We all book. I work with almost all limousine companies. I know all of them personally within the Philadelphia and the surrounding, from Alibaba down to Lemon today. They know me personally. I work with all of them. So I tell you, you doing your wedding, as you're planning the whole year, include your wedding transportation. It's very important. If you want, wedding transportation is important because you want the beautification of your wedding. You got to book it and reserve your date. Otherwise, you're not going to have, I had somebody who called me on Wednesday. I couldn't do the wedding. So
call you Wednesday for a wedding.
For Saturday wedding. Saturday I had a funeral. I had 2 weddings on Saturday. It's gone yesterday. So
when people lease those vehicles, they lease them for the hour or they lease
for about weddings are between 3 to 5 hours. But our Liberian wedding, most of our Liberian wedding, they do it for 5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. So you take them to the church.
We pick them up. We start with the party. Like yesterday, I did a wedding in Trenton for one of my schoolmate family. Her daughter, uncle passed during the war. He got killed during the war. They all in town for Atlanta, and she recommended the family to use me, and I'm happy that I did a wedding. It was a small bridal party, a party of 14. So I sent in one of my excursion. That can take 16 passengers. Beautiful. What we did, we picked up the men first. Went down to the hotel. We picked the men up, brought them to the church, and went back to the hotel. Picked up the brides and brought them. And after the church, they all immersed into the limousine at the same time. Go do pictures. After pictures, we dropped into the reception hall and we're done. Some people want you to come back for them after the reception, and. But normally the routine is pick up from the hotel to the church, pictures, and you're done when you drop off to the reception hall.
Yeah, reception. After the reception, everybody hustle their way home, right?
Yes.
Okay, guys, let's go to Liberia. What is it you've been doing with Liberia relative to business? I know you've been out of there.
You know, Cyrus, when I said I left Liberia, my vision is always want to see Liberia better. It's all one. I was highly involved with the police department on President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. through former director of police Chris Massacre. I was his coordinator of police in America. During his time, I did a lot of work with police uniform, finding trainings for police department, helping him when he come into the city, make connection with police department, visiting other police department around America for help. In 2015, I helped him to bring in the first band uniform. The police band uniform, the police band you see today, it was through my instrumentality, the Liberian National Police, I coordinated that. And you see the police today have a beautiful band unit, well-dressed band unit that was coordinated by Captain Moore under the leadership of Chris Massacre. So I have always been there. I still got connection with the police. I know the chief of police well. But again, I'm not too involved like I was involved under the last regime. I still had
involved with the current team.
No, current, right? No.
Did you know Chris before you left Liberia?
The family, yeah, I knew Chris, the family before. When Chris left, I was very young. So
when you went to the academy and became a police officer.
No, Chris was already here. Already left. Chris was already in the States. Yeah. Okay. But his brother, his younger brother, Ali Massacre, who served almost every department of police, besides being director and assistant director. Ali, his younger brother, who was one of my instructors, he taught me evidence in court and then collection, preservation, and identification of evidence on the police academy. A great police instructor, well known. He served almost every department from special assistant. He was special assistant Brownie Samuka, Joe Tate. He became chief detective. He became chief anti-drugs. He became, in Liberia National Police, chief intelligence officer. So he taught me.
In the police?
Ali is here in America too. Unfortunately for Ali, he tried to make it to the department. He served as chief of defense on Samuka, on Ellen now. Samuka made him chief of defense. Very high educated guy when it comes to Liberian police and criminal justice. But Ali is here now. I know he's not too well. He lives in the Upper Darby section of Pennsylvania. But through that, I got very close to Chris Massacre.
Let's look at some of the landmark cases that the police have been handling, at least in the last few years, right? Starting with what's going on right now in Liberia. The former Chief Justice Gloria Scott has been arrested and charged with murder of her daughter. Have you been following that?
Case? I've been following well. I know Honorable Gloria Scott. I mean, I know. I mean, she served one time as a family lawyer for me, for my family. I know her family. I know her brother here in Delaware, and I know the family.
This whole thing is unfortunate, but I mean, how do you see? I don't know. I don't know whether it would be proper.
Cyrus, you see, I would tell you honestly, I'm not too happy with the police public relations section of crimes going on. The police not giving the community information on what's happening in investigation. That's my problem having with the police.
Is that something that police is supposed to do?
Listen, Cyrus, the police public relations is very important in the police community, with police community. You understand? Yeah. Because you take away the fear from the community when you're informing them about crimes happening. If we go back before the war, why do you think on a director that Joe Charlie Shee or Wilfred Clark, these guys had a police public relations doing police report every day. The reason of giving police report is
a police program every day on the radio. Yeah.
Every day, right after 7 news 7:30, there was a police. You heard the police. You hear the police siren. 7:30 every day in Liberia was police report. The police had to come inform the public about happenings to take away the fear from the public. And this is my crimes with the police. We have to inform the public. We cannot wait. We cannot wait until crime go down and the crime was committed. The police don't have any information, and crime again recirculate, and the public don't have any information. The public become the police become. The public become afraid of the police.
They don't have confidence in the police.
No confidence. No confidence. That's my problem. That's my problem. That's my problem. The police is not informing the community about happenings, most especially with the crimes. I mean, I agree with the community. I agree with the public. Crimes happen, it noising, and at the end of the day, there's no report on. There's nothing about the from the initial investigation to the prosecution. The public's are not informed. So the police need to improve in the police-public relation, most especially when it comes to information of crime.
But do you get a sense that we have the right qualified people in the police? With all you guys all out of the country?
Listen, I will tell you, Patrick is the chief of police. He's been in the police a long time. I mean, I'll tell you, trained guy. But I don't know. Listen, Cyrus, there was nobody trained to be president. As I said, there was nobody trained to be chief of police. I don't know if the seat is too hot. But I will tell you one good thing. When I look back at the police then, when we came from the police academy in '93, Cyrus, I mean, right after the war, we're talking about armed robbery, guns all around the city. You understand? Armed robbery increased. I work today I work as one of the operatives in the anti-robbery section of the Liberian police at the time. 93, 91, 92, 93. We brought and how you call it? Toted brought in today Senator Zago, Amalu Zago. You know, Zago is a regional police officer.
Oh, okay.
Zago was the commander of CID at the Green Springs P Airport, where my father served as chief of police. And Jote brought in Zago because he was young and energetic. He felt he needed a young guy who would work with us and help us to combat armed robbery. And listen, Minister Gray, we had no guns at the time. We were back up our ECMO, and we solved crime and cut down crime and armed robbery. We eliminated notorious armed robbers, that David White and other notorious armed robbers. And on our time, the city was calm. It was not as notorious as it is now. We never had guns. Some of us have our personal logistic because of my father being the police and my connection. I had a handcuff. I had a 38 that only had 2 shots. I didn't have to use, but it was just a backup.
Just so you can look like you got power. Yeah.
So I got power. But now you got a department of police that almost, that carrying weapons and then people being trained to use firearms and to protect. And it's disheartening when the people cannot look up to the police for protection. It is disheartening. Yeah, and I feel it's because of lacking of police public relation. The police need to increase the public relations section in informing the Liberian people about crimes in the community.
Well, it's a good point. Informing the people about crime in the community, but what's about solving the crimes? You know, in Liberia, even till today, vigilante justice is still very common. If you went to red light market and somebody call you rogue, if you're not careful, people will grab you and beat you or burn you.
Again, you see, right after the Glorious Cat incident, if you go back to my page, you see me. I started a police public vigilante community, where I'm hoping to help improve the vigilante, the back to the police. Community vigilante. You understand?
How is that?
It's something we had after the war, where the community.
What is police vigilante?
The community vigilante, community police. Yeah, community watch team groups.
Oh, so the community got a watch team, but it's coordinated with the police.
Police. What we did during 94, 95, we cut up the community into watch teams. You understand? You live in Paisley. You live in Paisley, right behind the JC Howard. I live down from you. You understand? We have vigilante groups that will come out at night to make sure our community was safe, to cut down crimes. You understand? I mean, and Sarah, look at them. We never had cell phones. You understand? We would knock pots and buckets to cause noise for neighborhood to wake up, to alarm that there was people, unknown people, or people we see moving in the neighborhood. You understand? But now you got cell phones. You can create community watch team groups on your WhatsApp and other things to inform community that something going on. I mean, and what I see the police just now using these things to help cut down crimes by creating a community-based police force. The police need to break down to a community-based police force, include the community into policing. And where
is there a channel more by which you could recommend that to the police? Because
listen, I mean, we hoping I'm hoping to be in Monrovia next month. I'm hoping again to sit with the chief of police. Listen, again, I will tell you, nobody was trained to be in the up as a chief of police. I will still say today I gave the thumbs up to Joe Tate. Even with Joe Tate not getting the help from the Department of Justice of Liberia because they didn't trust him, they felt he was not going to. He was not good.
The United States.
The United States, yeah. After 97, after the election, the Department of Police, the United States Department of Justice felt Joe Tate was not going to be transparent when it comes to the policing being the first phase of the criminal justice system. Joe Tate came to that seat, and I tell you, he did what he could do to fight crimes in Liberia, and this is what the police need to do. The police need to step up. The police need to step out with the community-based police force, and they have a lot in the favor. You got cell phones. You got transportation. I mean, roads are open now. I mean, you got people that can move from before we never used to go from Painesville. I mean, used to come from Police Academy and go straight down to ELW Junction. Now you got the roads open. You got other basic things that you can have the community help you cut down the crime rate in Liberia. And then they're not just putting it in use. I mean, I know they always can't talk about funds, but there's a lot the police can do once the community encouraged is satisfied. You can even bring in the police community fund based raising funds. As I sit back, I was just talking with one of my old schoolmates from the police academy. I mean, what I don't know why these things not working, because Cyrus, if you look at communities, let's go to real life. Let's go to the real life. If I were chief of police today, I go to the real life. It's a real life is a crime zone. Look at how many stores and businesses in the real life. All the businesses need protection. No businesses can buy but 3 police cars to support the safety crime in our community. You understand? Let's go to across the bridge. Businesses across the bridge can buy 3 or 4 police cars to protect businesses in that area. Let's come to Central Monrovia. The banks and other places can provide 4 or 5 police cars to cut down crimes in that area. So what am I saying? If we decentralize the police force to community-based police and use the funding in protecting life and property, there will be great crime cut down, and there will be good policing in the Republic of Liberia.
So could it also come to just management? Are you saying the budget not there or the money not being used appropriately? I mean, you can hardly see a police car on patrol anywhere.
I even saw the Gloria Scott case. I saw the police car escorting the car going to bringing her to court. No headlights, no tail lights. I mean, it's painful. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I mean, I mean, with the budget now, with the budget I see the police have now, I mean, it was less budget before. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if funds being mismanaged. I don't know they're not getting the right support because of population growth. But I still see a lot of things the police can do in increasing to generate funds in protecting. I mean, in protecting lives and property of the people of Liberia, which they're now applying to the police department right now. There's a lot. There's a lot we can do.
Do you know? I listened to Brandon Samukai in one broadcast the other day, and he seemed to imply that there is a police roadmap, a document on policing for Liberia. Do you know of such? Whether they have a policing plan that covers how many police stations, how many people, the training manuals, and all that?
Of course. I mean, listen, and maybe I still have that chapter. I still have that booklet Chris Massacre brought when he met the Washington Police Department. He met the Maryland Police Department. He met the Philadelphia Police Department. Met the New Jersey Police Department. Listen, these things are these plans are there. You know, Brandon Samukai was the first military man that became chief of police. You remember that? Samukai became director of police on the Sawyer administration. So, Samukai knows there's a chart, there's a format for police operation. So I don't know why it's not being used, but the police, listen, the police. I was telling my son, my older son, he was telling me and he went back and forth with this same Gloria Scott case, and I tell him, I said, listen, Lawrence, the police have a format. Liberia was founded by the United States of America. Liberia has been supported. Everything, our Justice Department is just like the Justice Department of the United States of America. So don't you think the police have a format? Do you know how much money the United States spent on the Liberia? You heard the ambassador of America to Liberia when he was giving his report. He talked about the support to the police department. So it just that, I mean, I don't know, leadership is not spending on these or taking advantage on these things. But I see if these things are handled, I mean, the public can be more secure when it comes to police public relations. I mean, look at public safety. Look at the kind of accident. There's a lot of basic things. Look, let me go back to you, Charles. I will go back to you, 2012. I used to Chris Massacre. I didn't, when Chris Massacre became chief of police, he wanted me to go to Liberia with him. You understand? But then I had just met my wife. Family was just rebuilding my family. I told Chris I was not going with him. So Chris will bring me in November to February to come in and just help, around, do some volunteer work with the police. And in November 2012, we decided to remove motorbike from the street. Yeah. And I recommended, with one or two others agree, we recommended the director of Massacre, and he talked to the president that there would be, after 9 p.m., there would be no motorbike flying the street because we said that motorbikes, the armed robbers are getting along, away with quickly with motorbikes being in the street. And I tell you,
armed robbers were using the motorbike.
If you can recall, November 29, Tottenham birthday, 2012, we put into effect no motorbike flying the street after 9 p.m. And I tell you, that I saw the Chris Massacre report in February. That operation cut down crimes over 60% in less than 3 months of that operation. So if we are applying operations that are on the books to prevent crime or to protect lives and property, I mean, we got to enforce it. We got to apply. We got to make sure it stay in place.
Yeah, 2018. I think when we got in, they stopped that. They allowed the motorcycle to go anywhere.
Yeah, because you see, Minister Gray, look who all have motorbikes. All the one minister got 30 motorbikes, one senator got 6 motorbikes, this other person. I mean, I would tell you, to that incident, I saw motorbike being impounded. I saw government official come and say, man, this is my motorbike. And that's why they do. That's what they do. You look, they got the motorbikes, they got guys, pimp boys flying the motorbike, generating income for them, and then which is wrong. I mean, and there's no public safety that these things, these bikes not insured. And listen, I will agree they got the transportation, but they have to abide by the transportation law.
Yeah.
Which is you are assistant minister of transportation. I mean, you gave all your guidelines and it left with the police for us to enforce it and have the public safety section and life and property be protected from the littlest thing that I see that can be solved to resolve less crime and less public safety problem. Look at the other day. Baja, one of those Baja carrying planks and killed a student. I saw that thing. A little girl going.
They call it keke.
Keke, yeah. It fell carrying planks on top of it, fell and killed a student. Are these things made for that? No. It's the police department need to enforce the public safety issue. Yeah.
The motorcycles they use it to carry just about. They get in chance to use it to carry car.
Of course. Listen, and how they call this guy with Chancellor Namayan? The tall big Alain just died in the car accident.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I was just told that there were two. Look how big that guy is, and two of them were in the front seat of a car. You think if it come, how can you maneuver? I mean, you're not even standing good. How will you not? If that car going to an impact, I mean, your chance of surviving is slim.
Apart from that, the driver said does not even have enough driving space. Yeah, you know, he can move him around.
So listen,
to give somebody legs. Yeah.
No. So there's a lot of things the police can invest in, public safety wise, to generate funds to increase good policing within the community of our country.
I buy that. Look, I was on the highway 2021 coming in the night, coming from Banga in a convoy of Land Cruisers while working with USAID, and we had these tankers. We passed by a group of tankers with no light in the night. Yeah, few tankers. So we're approaching Kakata. So we went ahead of them and got to the Kakata gate. There's a gate. We entered Kakata and called the police commander and briefed him. Said, "My man, look, you got these tankers are coming, no light." Because you can just butt up with them on the road from up the hills in the total thing. That when you guys come, you stop them, make sure that they don't go until they face that light. Whether they will sleep here and send somebody to get those light bulbs, do that. So
that's right. And Cyrus, that's why Mr. Great, that's why I'm telling you.
We're going to Kakata, and we park for a second. We're doing something. We saw the tankers can't pass by us going. They let him pass.
Yeah. Listen, let's go right to neighboring Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, where I formed my second home from Liberia. My wife's father came from Sierra Leone. He lived in Liberia, or he found his wife in Liberia, my mother-in-law. But during the war, they had to go back to where he came from because of safety. And after they retired, they built a beautiful place out there. We all support them and go to Sierra Leone. Look at Sierra Leone today. During my time growing up, Sierra Leone came to Liberia for jobs. Sierra Leone came to Liberia for help. You understand?
Yeah.
Sierra Leoneans came to Liberia, Minister Gray. And today, look at the road to Sierra Leone. Look at Sierra Leone. In Sierra Leone, if you see some of the video, I'm driving 85 miles per hour between Freetown to Kenema. You understand? I mean, you stop to the police department. You stop at a checkpoint. And these guys want to check your weapon. They want to check your lights. And I mean, I tell you, I'm not saying they're not going to take the late 10,000 or 20,000 million, but they will make sure that your client the street is safe for you and for them. So, I mean, police public safety, the public safety division of Sierra Leone have increased. You understand? Have increased. Before you take your car out of the port of Sierra Leone, it got to have insurance. Everything has to work. If it's not, you're not getting it out. So if these things improve, I mean, Liberia, we can have a good public safety. We can have a good police community relation and a good police community based operation that our people, our Liberians, will be safe and go back to the police. But I mean, it hurt me when you see something going. Why I going to the police? I have to take justice in my own hand. The police, oh, forget it. It's shameful.
Yeah, it's very shameful. But hey, let me let you catch your breath.
Okay.
Take a glass of water. We'll take a break and we'll be back in a second. This is Albert Moore. Today our guest on Election Central. We're discussing his departure from Liberia as part of that lost generation of professionals, his experience in the United States, and now we're talking about policing in Liberia. We will come back and we'll discuss his perspective of Liberia dealing with other things. So let's get a taste of David Mel, the Liberian artist.
D12 on the beat.
One love, yo.
I don't know. Now what think I do, Papa? Why you keep blessing me like this? You favor me like you still keep on protecting me like this. Yeah, you sustaining me like this. I'm so grateful, yeah. Say, I don't know. Now what think I do, Papa? Why you keep blessing me like this? And you keep favor me like this. You protecting me like this, and you sustaining me like this. I'm so grateful. Yeah, yeah. You give me plenty money. Too much data, fun cherry. You put food on my table, clothes on my body, and you share to me. You share for me, so I say, count your blessing, think them one by one, and you will know what thing we can do. I'm so thankful, yeah. See, yeah, I'm so grateful, yeah. I used to be cocky on the carry, I didn't have no lyrics. They used to call me for nothing, and sister boy, but thank God you never left me now. No, you spend it for me. So I raise my voice and say, I don't know. Now one thing I do, Papa, why you keep blessing me like this? Oh, you favor me like this. You keep protecting me like this. You sustain me like this. I'm so grateful, God. Jehovah Jireh, yeah, my provider. Oh, Jehovah Rapha, yeah, my healer. Oh, Jehovah Shalom, yeah, oh, my peace of mind. You are my strength, like no other. Oh, you are my song in the storm. I just wanna praise you and praise you. Let my voice to you, my God. Give you praise, yeah. Woo. Say, I don't know. Now one thing I do, Papa, why you keep on blessing me like this? You keep on favoring me like this. You protecting me like this. You sustaining me like this. I'm so grateful, God. Grateful, God. You give me plenty money. Too much data, fun cherry. You put food on my table, clothes on my body, and you share to me, so I say, elevation by you, promotion by you, celebration by you, blessing by you, favor by you. When it's plenty, grateful.
Yeah, that's all, man. David Mel. I'm grateful. Today is Election Central. We're having a discussion with Captain Albert Moore. We're discussing the lost generation of Liberia, and by lost generation, we're referring to that fleet of thousands of Liberian professionals, college educated, who, as a result of the war and the conditions that follow, had to leave Liberia and settle in foreign countries, resulting into an enormous brain drain. We've had the last hour discussing what Captain Moore is doing in the United States, how he got here, and then we got into policing in Liberia. We'll continue discussing Liberia. I'll bring him in a second. And Captain, welcome back, Captain Moore.
Thank you, Minister Greg.
We started rolling about the policing in Liberia and all the inadequacies and things we could do better. I know you left us discussing about the differences that you see in policing in Sierra Leone. I think we can learn a lot from it. We're in an election year, so there is a good chance that a new person will be president, or the current president will be going into his second term. Knowing all you know, and with your perspective from living in the United States, going into the neighboring countries, what are the things that you think we can do to change Liberia? And it's a big question, but select what do you think in your own perspective that we can do in the first year or two that will begin to impact our country in a very positive way.
You see, Minister Gray, it hurts me, most especially for us that have come to the West and had the opportunity to go back home and serve our people. And we work in this country. We abide the rules and regulations. We have failed to adapt what we learn, what we see working here to take back home. And it's painful. President Weah is the president of Liberia. I mean, I know President Weah is not a politician. But I tell him, President Weah has been failed by his own people. The people he trusted to guide him. I mean, people just fail to adapt and feel, it's Liberia or this. We can. I mean, it will not work. You can't bring your Western nice system here. It will not work. And until we can adapt and put in place what we have learned from the West, Liberia will continue going the same way. Yeah. We have to understand that public trust is number one. We have to understand that working as a government official is a privilege. It's not. I mean, and an opportunity. It's not a right. Until we follow these little guidelines, Liberia will still remain the same.
So public trust is one thing, right? Most of people working in Liberia are working for government.
Yeah.
The country is still considered poor. The issue of even youth abused. If you go in Liberia, go in Center Street area, in fact, in every community, you got hundreds of youth that are congregated around unfinished building. They're involved in drugs and all that kind of stuff called Zogos. In fact, in many places, they sleep in the graveyard. That's that kind of grief problem. How do you think we can begin to even address it?
It's a hard thing, Minister Gray. I tell you, even in the Great America, they got in the certain part of Philadelphia section, they call it the land of zombies. What they call the Allegheny, the Allegheny section of Philadelphia. But the population of America is not compared to the population of Liberia.
Right.
The Liberian community will have to receive the wealth. They have to receive a portion of the wealth. We have to start pocketing what are meant for the people until we start using what are in place for the people. I mean, and punishing people for not giving or not using what are for the people for them. I mean, it's still going to be hard. it's still going to be
So,
hard.
so what's your impression about this whole question about accountability in the war crime court? There are some who have argued that the war crime court, the real value of it is not necessarily to punish individuals, but it can serve as a symbol for people to know that you can't just get away with things, and help us to develop that sense of accountability
Yes.
and that impunity.
Yes, and
What
and
do you
and and, and, and just breaking the war concord that could transform the level of violence in our country. And look at videos, look at students, university students. I mean, the level of violence have increased into Liberia so high. Look at riots. Riots now have become the number one way of sending message to 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 uh, 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 uh,
leaders?
uh, to leaders. I mean, Minister Gray, you were we all were in the university. I mean, we all have political views, but the level of violence, this was not how it went. I mean, when you say you're a member of SOUP or a member of a political group at the university, I mean, it was not violent. I mean, the first thing people during our high school days, when we even were going to vote for high school leadership or coming to college, I mean, some of us, well, first year we entered the university for the war. We had to, as you said, this is where your show comes in, where our potential was denied because we had to leave our, the dream we wanted to experience. We had to leave. You understand? I mean, that life, that great university life. I mean, you're taking the bus going to Fenner and coming back to main campus, and all of that was denied for a lot of people, a lot of group our age. But look at it now. So if we can put a precedent in place, the war crime court starts from here. If people can get punished for violating and human rights, I think it would change the narrative of the violence in our country, because people feel you can go break people's car and nothing come from it. You can hit on somebody, you can beat somebody's car, you can brutalize a child and nothing come. I mean, everything starts with the level of punishment, and I believe the War Crime Code will set a precedence in law and order, most especially with the violence that have increased in Liberia.
Okay, I agree with that too, 100%. Look, today we have as our guest, our special guest, Albert Moe. He's based in Philadelphia. He runs his tour and event transportation company. I was just impressed to see that. I didn't even know you had that they had a Range Rover in a limousine form.
Well, but we listen. I was sending you the picture. You got Porsche. You got Porsche. Yeah, you got Porsche. Oh Lord,
Yeah, but
we got
that's
a club.
what he does
What do you
down
call it?
there.
Club Harmon. You got the club Harmon. The whole nightclub on wheels.
You gotta be kidding me. Well, that's what he does. He has this luxury fleet for people having weddings and all that. He said he's booked for most of the year, but hey, it's good to know that Captain Mo is there in Philly, and he does that. We're really glad that you could come and share with us your views about.
And we do group trips too. I take people all around the country, Ohio, Indiana. We go, and I go into Canada too, Montreal, Quebec, Montebello.
In that luxury.
No. We do. We got some beautiful buses too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So I'll tell you what, I mean, look, we've had a great show. I will give you an opportunity to give us your parting comment. Is there anything you want to talk about? Whether soft or hard issue that you want to share with the listening audience? This is the time to do it.
And Minister Gray, I tell you, I support President Weah in the next term. I believe with his word, he said he's prepared to give back to the Liberian people the full benefits. I'm not saying he have done it all right. Again, I would tell you that his cabinets have failed him. People he have given opportunity to supervise government have failed him. This is why we saw that those three major players of government had to be extracted from government by the United States government, by the first time we ever saw in an African government, Iraq. But President, we understand the narrative. For the president, I know. Look, the reason I tell Liberian people are supporting President I will tell you tonight on your show. We saw you are a government official. You are assistant minister when I knew you. We saw when President Weah were coming to Liberia during the 90s. I mean, there were ceasefire. The rebels would drop their guns because we were coming play. We know. I was in security at the time. I was deeply in security, national security. We know that they would tell President, FIFA would tell President Weah, you can't come, or ECOWAS would tell him we can't protect this guy because the country not safe, and President Weah still came back. This is one reason I would ask my supporter, let's give him a second chance. Because I know the President Weah we have. President Weah, when it comes for him to extract you from his theme, he will extract you. And I know, I see some of those pictures, you see him sitting in his face and thinking on how his people will have the full benefit. I don't think President Weah have forgotten where he came from. This is why he had the opportunity to become president of the country, because the people believe that he never forgot them. He came back when he had the opportunity. I hope that he will go back and re-examine this year. We got about 4 more months to election. I hope he can start kicking up things and reassuring the Liberian people. But again, Minister Gray, when you look at the narrative of election, if we go back to where we came from, the Ellen Johnson government, Honor Joseph Barker, because everybody's saying it's the Barker vote. And I will tell you, for CDC to be re-elected, they got to beat Joseph Barker. And I mean, from my own point of view, we're going back to the Ellen government. I mean, where we see ex-government officials that have lost everything, fighting to go back. I mean, I don't know, but from people inside, talking to from inside the Cummings group, they know Cummings. They know that they need to fight for the vote. They need to fight for the vote. I will tell you publicly today, I hope they can support Weah and they be supported in the next 6 years. But I tell you, my reason is I'm going to support President Weah. You see me in my CDC blue for your show. I definitely wore this blue because of my support.
So let me ask you this. So are you satisfied with the work that Weah has done in the last?
I would tell you for my own sense of him, I would tell you no, I am not.
But what made you believe that he would do anything different?
No, I believe he's going to reshuffle. He knows. I tell you again, I say his principal deputies have failed him. He's being failed by people he entrusted, and President Weah is going to listen. He's going to work in with President Salif. He's going to maybe bring in Mr. Cummings to see how best they can cut down and improve the lives of the Liberian people.
Okay, Captain Moore. Thank you, man. Thanks for joining me. It's been a hectic, rewarding evening discussion, and enjoy the rest of your day. And good luck to your business as we go forward. Let's keep in touch, my brother.
And just I applaud you for just calling me yesterday and said, Albert, I want you on. I'm obliged of that. And thank you. Let me know anytime when you're in the Philadelphia area with your family, you think you need your transportation from the airport, from New York to Philadelphia, around the airport. Trust me, I will give you a ride on the limousine.
Yeah, I'll put that on my front page, man.
Thank you, Minister Gray.
Yeah, have a good day. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot for joining us. That was just gave me a ordinary Liberian security officer. Very good one on the perspective about Liberia. So join us next Sunday. Saturday. We run the episode mode for the people who like to know what it is. you have it.